Let's start off with the first method, trial and error. So we have x plus 4 is equal to 5. What number should I put in place of x so that the LHS is equal to RHS? Okay, you start guessing and going across. That's your trial and error. We'll start off with for x being equal to 0. So we have 0 plus 4 which is equal to 5. 4 is equal to 5, which is a false statement and not a solution. Right? So again, what is our agenda? We have to substitute value in place of x so that we get a true statement and thus find the solution. So trial and error to find the solution is our main funda over here. So then I can go with for x is equal to 1. So 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. 5 is equal to 5. It's a true statement and thus this is the solution. Is a solution, right? So we found the solution. Quite simple, right? So trial and error method works. Well, it works obviously, but it won't work easily. It will be difficult. Let me show that. So next example. So let's start off with for x is equal to 0. So we have 2 into 0, that is in place of x. I'm substituting 0. Plus 10 is equal to 54. So as per board mass, multiplication first. 0 plus 10 is equal to 54. This is a false statement and not a solution. So what is the next number we should try? X is equal to 1. So we have 2 into 1 plus 10 is equal to 54. Clearly this is 12 and being equal to 54 is a false statement and not a solution. Then what is the next one? Well, we can go with 2 and 3 and 4. It's going to take a lot of time. So you can see that if I keep doing this, it will take a lot of time. So since I have a basic idea of what is the answer, because I'm able to do with different method, so after trying all the numbers, I'll end up with 22. So 2 into 22 plus 10 is equal to 54. So this is 44 plus 10 is equal to 54. So this is clearly a true statement, right? And thus is a solution. Okay, so you have x is equal to 22 being the solution. So if I start with 0 and move on 1, 2, 3, 4 in that particular order, so you're trying out all the whole numbers in between 0 to 22 will take a lot of time, is it not? So you can see that, you can start to see that it's not feasible. Just one more thing, what if the solution is negative? So in this question, what will I do is, I will change the question to negative 20 so that we have a bit of challenge. Now let's start off with for solution for x is equal to 0. So 0 by 2 plus 10 is equal to minus 20. So this is 10 is equal to minus 20, a false statement and thus not a solution. Not a solution. So again we can see that it's going to be long and this is negative. So if I continue in the positive side, like for x is equal to 20, right? I try a lot of number in between and this is x is equal to 20. So 20 by 2 plus 10 is equal to minus 20. And we have 10 plus 10 and this is minus 20 and 20 is equal to minus 20, not a true statement, a false statement, and this is not a solution. So it's not easy, is it not? Right? So how do you go about? Well, with trial and error, this is the case. We know in this case the solution happens to be an integer, so it's simple. What if it's a fraction? You know, what if your answer is a fraction? What then? It's not easy. So here, yes, since I'm able to do a bit mental math, so I can take x is equal to, so I need 50, I need minus 30 over here, so minus 60 is what I have to go with, right? You'll see why. So minus 60 by 2 plus 10 is equal to minus 20. This is minus 30 plus 10, which is equal to minus 20. So minus 20 is equal to minus 20, which is a true statement and thus a solution. So you can clearly see that all of this is a lengthy process. Trial and error is a lengthy process. That too when the solution is an integer. What if the solution is a fraction? If you're trying out integers, you'll never find a solution, is it not? Right? It's not an easy process. Okay, it's not at all an easy process. So here in this case, say I'll make this as 3a, right? Because I want you guys to see it's trial and error. It's not an easy way to find the solution. Okay, so let's start off with our traditional number for a is equal to 0. So we have 3 into 0 minus 4 is equal to negative 10. So 0 into something is 0, negative 4 is equal to negative 10. It's a false statement. So not a solution, right? For a is equal to negative 1. So we have plus 3 into minus 1 minus 4 is equal to negative 10. So try to, first is the sign, positive into negative is negative 3. Then negative 3 into 1. I'll write it as negative 3 only. I'm sure you guys will be able to understand this. 3 into 1 is 3, positive into negative is negative. So clearly this is addition, negative 7 is equal to negative 10. It's a false statement. So we are close by, is it not? So let's try negative 2. I think we are close by. For a is equal to negative 2. 3 into negative 2, negative 4, negative 10. So this is negative 6, negative 4, negative 10. Oh, negative 10 is equal to negative 10. This we got easily. Actually, I wanted to make it tough. Apparently made it easy. Okay, similar question. Let me put a fraction. Right? Let me put a fraction so that the answer should be a fraction. 3 into a minus 4 is equal to negative 3. Right? So that's your question. Again, I know you guys can do it with your traditional method, but try doing with trial and error. Right? So for a is equal to 1. Okay, for a is equal to 1, we have 3. Okay, we'll start with 0. But for a is equal to 0, we have 3 into 0 minus 4 is equal to negative 3. So 0 minus 4 is equal to negative 3. So the answer is close by. This is the false statement, not a solution. So clearly we are close by. Negative 4 and negative 3 we are close by. So let's take, obviously I need a positive number over here so that I get, it gets subtracted and I get negative 3. So the closest positive number which I know is 1. Right, that's the traditional number which anyone will go with. So 3 into 1 minus 4 is equal to minus 3. So this is 3 minus 4 is equal to minus 3. And this is negative 1 is equal to negative 3. We are further away from the actual answer is not. This is the false statement, not a solution. But now we are further away from the answer. So now we're looking at a scenario wherein we might need an integer, and that is not going to be easy, is it not? Integer itself is hard to figure out, but we need fractions. So figuring out fractions over here is altogether difficult, right? So this is a simple equation, by the way. If we get a complicated equation like, so not too complicated, I'll just show you same question, something like this, or something like this. So clearly you can see that it's not going to be easy with trial and error. This somehow I'm sure you guys are able to figure out in your mind, but few more terms over here and a bracket, right? And we are gone. We won't be able to use trial and error in those two questions, at least not. Of course we will get it with trial and error. We can write a program which puts in all the possible numbers with all the integers, right? And we can figure out. If not, we can, if you're looking at fractions, and you can tell, okay, there's a set of fractions which you can try. The closest to 0, the better it is. So our computer will figure it out, right? But point is, we don't want such computation which takes a lot of time. There also in programming also we can't do that. So the calculation has to be faster. Anyways, coming back to us doing it, it's not practical to use trial and error. So the alternative is your simplification with pen and paper. And yes, I have one more practical aspect of how to do that. Practically how do you balance an equation, right? We are going to understand that, and we're going to understand how to put this on the paper and solve something. Okay, makes sense? So let's move on.